Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final official video of 21 Days of Self-Care. And this video is called Lessons Learned. So I just wanted to share a few of the lessons I have learned over these 21 days. Some of them are things that I knew already, some of them that are things that I learned in a fresh and new way. And I just thought it was important to boil it down to 5 key takeaways from the whole 21 days. So if you missed any of them, this is a little summary for you. I'm joking. Watch the videos. I'm writing them in my little TC Wellness journal, which I love. If you have been journeying with us and watching these videos and you don't have a journal, reach out to us and we will be happy to provide one for you. So, 5 things. So, the first thing is that changes should be small, manageable, and scalable. Don't be afraid to start. Start somewhere, start anywhere. Start with 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. But don't take on way more than you can handle. It's okay to have ambitious goals. It's okay to want to run a marathon and this, that, but you got to start small and start somewhere. Because if you don't, it makes it really, really difficult to actually get to your goal without, discouragement because then you didn't do what you said or whatever. So start small, start simple, don't overcomplicate it, and you'll be surprised the effects you're going to get with such a small change. So the second one is healthy food is not straightforward, okay? These days in the supermarkets, the labels can be very deceiving. And so, you got to learn the tips and the tricks, flip to the back, read the ingredients. They should be simple, they should be things you can pronounce. If you're getting almond milk, it should just be almonds and water, for example, not all the other random stuff. And I know that can be hard to find. So, it might take a little bit of extra work and extra planning, but try as much as possible to eat like truly healthy, like clean, whole foods. Also, sugar came up a lot, right? Pretty much none of our guests we're pro sugar. So we want to decrease as much of that, especially processed sugar that we're putting into our bodies, opt for natural sugars, maybe using dates, using, different things in our food instead of using actual sugar. We don't have sugar in my home. So it makes it really easy for me not to eat sugar because we don't have it. Of course, we have other things that have sugar in them, but that's a different story. So, as much as possible, avoiding some of those things that are toxins to our body and truly getting on a healthier diet. And the other part about healthy food not being straightforward that I recall learning was actually from one of the nutritionists who said that different people have different body types. And so, for one person, they might, eat more like a bird, whereas other people will eat more like a carnivore. And so, sometimes you get all these wars, plant-based, meat-based, whatever. And a lot of it just has to do with learning your own body for yourself and figuring out what's right for you. So, healthy food is not straightforward. Know your body, know yourself, figure out what works for you and stick to it. Depending on your goals, what you're looking for might also be different. So, the food part I felt was a little less straightforward than some of the other things, and I think that's also why it's a bit tough for us. But it's also one of the most powerful things we can change because the food is literally the building blocks of everything. And then the next one is movement is medicine. I love that because, we're all about movement. Even the slightest bit of movement counts. I remember we had one of our guests who said, if your legs hurt, move your arms, move something, move anything. If you can't go for a walk after dinner, that's okay. But if you can, it can be one of the most powerful things you can do to digest your food, even if you end up eating a lot more sugar than planned. So balancing the two so that overall you're not just filling your body with toxins and stressors and all of that extra stuff that is really difficult for you to digest and for you to achieve your goals with. So movement is medicine. And then the next one is this is number 4 is be strategic. Be strategic. Plan ahead, strategize, have community, leverage like the power of the group and the collective, bring a friend, bring a family member, do things together as much as possible. Be strategic in that. Write it down, put together a plan of what are you going to eat? What are you going to do? Like have everything kind of figured out. And I'm not saying this to say plan everything, but even plan one thing. use our journal to put something together that you would like to do, and do it, right? Do it with friends, do it with family, make it fun. That was another thing about being strategic. I remember one of our guests said that you can eat anything. You can eat anything. I think it was Minnie. You can eat anything, but what's in it, right? You can have cake for breakfast, but what's in the cake? That's what matters. So really just being strategic in the way you do things is super important. I think it was Samantha who said something about just the power of the collective and the power of community, and I think that also comes in being strategic, is that whether it's leveraging community to plan your food, or leveraging your community to babysit your kids while you're figuring out your stuff or going for a walk. So really just being able to leverage all the tools and resources you have to optimize. And we're really big on that at TC Wellness. That's why we're big on compression socks, because why would I not want to optimize my circulation? Why would I want my legs to be more tired, more swollen? Why would I want to develop varicose veins and spider veins? Why would I want that when I can easily just wear something simple that supports my veins, gives me that extra boost that I need to take on the workday, to take on my workouts, to take on my walks? So that's really part of being strategic and getting the support that we need. So don't do it alone. Get the support you need. Reach out to our practitioners. Reach out to one of the people that you've seen over the last 21 days and say to them, hey, I really enjoyed what you said about this. Pelvic health. Like, I learned that Kegels are not good for everyone. Some of us are too tight and we need help the other direction. So, like, can you help me with that? Reach out, do something. And the very last one, which is actually probably the one I took to heart the most, is so simple but so powerful. Breathe. Like, literally every single one of our guests, maybe not every single one, but pretty much all our guests talked about stress. They talked about the fact that often our parasympathetic nervous system is in overdrive. We have that fight and flight response, and we need to down regulate our nervous system. We need to calm down. So I think that's why meditation is so popular. Breathing, grounding, gratitude. Gratitude came up a lot. So I feel like there's just a lot of mindset changes, those small little changes when it comes to breathing, mindset, gratitude. These small things really affect everything else, because it affects our digestion, it affects our movement. Our mindset affects whether we go for a walk or not. If you tell yourself, I think it was um, what's her name? Lena, who said, if you tell yourself, oh, I'm not going to go for a walk, you're probably not. But if you tell yourself, I'm going to go for a walk today, I'm going to do this today, you're more likely to do it. I really enjoyed how Gilda, as a craniosacral therapist, goes straight for the source. She goes straight to the nervous system in the light touch that she does. And I think that that's just so needed these days. Like, we really need that down regulation of our nervous system. And even in keeping with the not forgetting to breathe, I'm going to throw in some dance in there, because we had some group fitness instructors who talked about that. And I think even with that, a lot of that has to do with regulating our breathing as we move our bodies, as we have fun, as we enjoy everything we do. And that's going to be my bonus tip, is enjoy everything you do. Like, don't make self-care a chore. Don't make it this terrible thing that you have to do to take care of your body or whatever, but make it fun. And use all of these tips, use all of these resources that we've shared with you to really just go for it, and go for it big. And now I'm going to talk about next steps. So, what are our next steps? Well, you're going to get some bonus videos, so don't think you're done with us yet. We have so many amazing practitioners who still have stuff to share with us. 21 days are officially over, but we are going to be releasing some bonus videos, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to have upcoming workshops. So a lot of these practitioners who you've seen over the last 21 days in these videos are going to be doing in-person workshops right here in Ottawa, or maybe virtual workshops, maybe hybrid. We'll keep you in the loop about that. And join our Moving Together project. Join the initiative and commit to walking with one person, ideally someone of a different generation, every single week. So that is everything. Thank you so much once again for being here. I miss my guests. I kind of liked the interview format, and now you just get to see me, but that's wonderful too. But thank you so much. This has been an absolute joy and an absolute pleasure. Grab your journals, reach out to us, and let's keep the self care vibes going.